is inside the mitochondria. So inside the mitochondrial matrix, we have the enzymes which are involved in the electron transport chain. So for which, if you remember, I asked you to remember this cycle. We should start from here. Substrate, it can be either carbohydrate, that is, it can be either glucose, it can be either fatty acids, or it can be amino acid. So from here, the electrons are being transported in the form of NADH plus H plus. So we have first enzyme complex 1 which converts FMNH2 to FES. Then there is succinate. This you should come downwards better. Finally, it is coenzyme Q. Whether you go this way or whether you come this way, the electrons are transported to coenzyme Q. For succinate to FADH2 and FES, we have enzyme complex 2, succinate COX reductase. Okay, from here you have cytochrome B, FES, then cytochrome C1. Here the enzymes which are involved is complex 3, uh, cytochrome C reductase. From here the electrons are transferred to cytochrome C, A1, then A, then A1. What is this button? So A and then A3. So this complex is cytochrome oxidase. From here finally the water is liberated. Complex 5 is concerned with clubbing up. Okay, that means here ADP plus high energy phosphate. At these three steps, it will help in the formation of three ATPs. Same thing is now just written like this. Okay, here if you observe, again, as though you are opening up substrate, NAD, FMN. See, substrate, NAD, FMN, coenzyme Q, cytochrome B, like this, cytochrome B, S, C1, C. If you have been missed, you can write completely also. So at the first enzyme complex, we have the production of ATP. Then at the enzyme complex site 2 also we have the production of ATP. Then at this point, this third step, this one, complex 4, cytochrome oxidase, 1, 2, 3. These are the three steps where you will see ADP will be coupled to form ATP. So how many ATPs are synthesized? 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So in oxidative phosphorylation, we will talk about coupling reactions. Now electron transport chain, you will see just transfer of these electrons. That means oxidation reduction reactions which are involved in the production of ATP. So suppose if you don't want this ATP to be generated, then you will use these inhibitors. So that if you just want to stop ATP production at the first step, you use the drug amytal retinone pyricycline. If you don't want ATP production at the second step, then antimycin A, British antiherbicide. If you don't want ATP production at third enzyme complex level, then we use the drug cyanide, carbon monoxide and sodium azide. Okay, so that is all about electron transport chain. So actually whatever you are seeing this line, or if you go with this line, or if you just draw the mitochondria and talk this, these are the electrons. NAD, FMN, coenzyme Q, cytochrome B, C, A, A3. These are flavoproteins which are finally concerned with clubbing F0, F1. Okay, ADP is coupled with high energy phosphate to form ATP. So three ADPs will be involved. They will be coupled with three high energy phosphates to form three ATPs. This we will elaborate when we are doing one more thing, that is the oxidative phosphorylation, where you have chemo-osmotic hypothesis. Okay, this we will do later. Then what happens if vitamin E is deficient? Infertility pattern. Vitamin A is very, very important for the normal oogenesis mechanism, spermatogenesis mechanism. Because of the deficiency of vitamin A, the ovum production will be impaired, sperm count will be impaired, because of which couple may suffer with infertility. So vitamin E is very, very important for fertility and reproduction. Okay, that's why it's called as anti-fertility vitamin, vitamin E. Okay, you find in germ oils. Okay, you find in sprouts, germinating seeds. Okay, then what are unsaturated fatty acids?
Fatty acids with double bonds in their structure,
Yeah, double bond, triple
double or
bond.
triple bond.
Yeah, can you name few? Linoleic,
Um,
linolenic, arachidonic.
Palmitic, arachidonic,
No, beta.
so they're saturated.
That is saturated. Linoleic, linolenic, arachidonic. Okay.
Okay.
Then detoxification by hydrolysis. Actually, hydrolysis word has come when we were doing like enzymes, isn't it? Classification. Then I told you,
Hydrolysis.
uh, hydrolysis. I told you detoxification will involve hydrolysis. I'll show you this. Xenobiotics chapter. Okay? You can open that particular page. Yes, beta. Metabolism of xenobiotics, detoxification, 638. Ritika.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, now see here, look at the screen. See, basically detoxification is whatever metabolic end products which are released in our body, they are toxic in nature and they are detoxified by the liver by the process of conjugation. Okay, we have type 1 and type 2, two different types of reactions, but a phase 1, phase 2. So it can be oxidation, reduction or hydrolysis which is occurring in phase 1. Okay, in phase 2 we have conjugation. So whatever is detoxified, it is excreted by liver. Okay, beta? Kidney is excreting and detoxification process is undertaken by liver. Okay. Now hydrolysis, you just give example wherever water molecule is added to detoxify the poisonous end substances of our body. Now, for example, acetanilide, water is added. Acetanilide is toxic end product during our metabolic activities. It's converted to aniline and acetic acid. Similarly, we have this isopropyl fluorophosphate, which is converted to dialkyl phosphate. Water molecule is added. Hydropine to tropic acid, tropine. Procaine is converted to para-amino-benzoic acid and dimethyl aminoethanol. So this is example of hydrolysis. Okay, beta? Then lactose intolerance. This also we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am. Deficiency of lactase enzyme.
So lactose is not digested in our body.
Converted to glucose and galactose. It's not digested.
It's not digested. Especially we have to see in case of newborn babies, if they are suffering with this disorder, then we have to go with mm, milk formulas which is not containing lactose. Okay, the milk powders. We have commercial formulas designed in such a way like they will not contain lactose. Okay, beta? Then what is oxidative phosphorylation and substrate level phosphorylation? Oxidative phosphorylation is what you have just studied, like coupling of ADP plus ATP, that is oxidative phosphorylation. Whereas substrate level phosphorylation means, this also I told you when we were doing glycolysis or some cycle. But I will show you glycolysis cycle for our easy understanding. When some reactions are taking place, if ATP is generated during the steps, that is substrate level phosphorylation. See here, beta. See, at this step, this is glycolysis cycle. In this glycolysis cycle, you are finding 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate. ADP is converted to ATP. That means at the level of substrate itself, you have formation of ATP. Okay. Similarly, phosphoenol pyruvate is converted to pyruvate. Here also you are finding at the level of substrate ATP is generated. So that's what is called as substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, oxidative phosphorylation is like what we have studied in electron transport chain. 3 ATPs were produced no, during metabolic activities, okay, with the different enzyme complexes. That is oxidative phosphorylation. Is that clear, beta?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta. We'll stop here.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
See you tomorrow, same time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Fine.